Hey Browns fans, Nathan Zegura here with another edition of Draft on Tap presented by Bud Light. And today we're going to look at the tight ends. And joining me from The Athletic, Dane Brugler, the best draft expert on planet Earth right now. And Dane, you talk about this tight end room. Kevin Stefanski loves his tight ends. The Browns last year had a kind of a three tight end group where they had Austin Hooper, David Njoku, and Harrison Bryant. We know the team has moved on from Austin Hooper, so there's potential to add a tight end here in this draft. If we're talking second or third round, who would be some of the guys that you'd be looking at in this group?
Yeah, this is an interesting tight end class because in the first round, we're not going to see a first round tight end. We probably won't. And I don't even have a tight end, but that's a lock top 60 player in this draft. But towards the end of the second, third round, fourth round, fifth round, it is a loaded position. We're going to see a lot of tight ends come off the board. Probably the first one being Trey McBride out of Colorado State. 6'3.5", 246 pounds. Maybe not elite in any one category, but he's good across the board, a slightly above average across the board as both a receiver and as a blocker. He's got really strong hands. He wins at the top of his routes. Doesn't have a ton of touchdown production, and that worries you a little bit. He had 90 catches last year, only one touchdown. But between the 20s, that's where he's going to be a consistent chain mover. There's a lot to like about Trey McBride and what he can bring to your offense right away. If you're looking for more of the big play threat, the guy that can stretch the seam and give you those yak yards, Greg Dulcich from UCLA, 6'4", 245 pounds. He is that type of athlete where you line him up in the slot, you give him those crossers, those catch and run opportunities. He has natural explosion for the position. So as a blocker, needs some work, needs continued development. But if you're looking for that guy with a big catch radius, he has separation burst before and after the catch, that F tight end, I think Greg Dulcich will be a nice fit for you.
How do you evaluate a guy like Jeremy Ruckert from Ohio State? They don't really feature the tight ends, but yet was highly regarded coming out. How do you see him, and is he somebody who maybe projects as more in the NFL than he was allowed to be in college?
I think you hit the nail on the head. Classic will be a better pro than college player. And yeah, like you said, a four-star guy, was a top recruit out of Long Island, and he saw a lot of snaps. He played a lot. He just didn't see a lot of targets. But when he was targeted in the passing game, good things usually happen. Large, accepting hands. He catches the ball really cleanly outside of his frame. And for a guy that didn't see a lot of targets, he shows some instincts as a route runner in terms of controlling his gears and working the middle of the field. He's got toughness. As a blocker, it's a little up and down, but you love the aggressive mentality that he plays with. He's been a little bit out of sight, out of mind because he's been dealing with a foot injury. So we didn't see him at the combine, didn't see him at the pro day. And so a little bit hidden, but teams are all over Jeremy Ruckert as a day two pick. A guy that can make natural adjustments as a pass catcher, going to get better, more consistent as a blocker. Remind me a lot of Adam Troutman a couple years ago coming out of Dayton, was a third round pick of the Saints, and that type of player. So I think somewhere in the third round, we're going to see Jeremy Ruckert come off the board.
How about Cade Otton out of Washington?
Yeah, speaking of a guy dealing with injury, Cade Otton, same type of thing. First surgery in his life, unfortunately for him, came his senior year at Washington. And so he missed the Senior Bowl. He missed the combine. He missed the pre-draft workouts. And so we didn't really get a chance for him to work out. And because of that, he's got that big discount sticker on him. Might slip to the end of the third round, maybe even the fourth round. 6'5", 250 pounds. He's a catch point finisher. You really like that about him. You see nuance in his routes. You see a guy that can win downfield, but he can also, win underneath and show that toughness, show that power that you're looking for. So there's a lot to like about Cade Otton and what he can be at the next level, as opposed to how he was used in college, where it was just very simplistic, and I think the offense didn't do him any favors. But you get him in more of a role where he can work the seam, work downfield. I think he's a guy that safeties and linebackers, they could have some trouble with.
Now, a lot of us think, or a lot of people would project, and you yourself did as well, that the Browns' first three picks in some order will be edge, receiver, and perhaps an interior defensive lineman. So that would push a tight end into day three. If it were on day three, and I know in your mock you go way late into day three and get the Browns a tight end, who are some of the guys that jump out to you real quick?
Yeah, in my mock draft, I had them going to Lucas Kroll from Pitt, 6'6", 250. He started his career as a baseball player at Arkansas. Goes to Florida and transfers to Pitt for his final 2 years. And we saw Kenny Pickett kind of ascend this past year. Lucas Kroll was part of that with his development as a pass catching tight end. 6'6", 253, ran a 4.63 40-yard dash. An outstanding 3-cone, outstanding jumps. So I think the testing numbers will match up well. Needs to continue to refine some of the details of the position. But if you're looking for a guy with intriguing size and speed and his best football yet to come, I think Lucas Kroll could be a fit for that description.
All right, we'll see if the Browns do go for a tight end at any point in the 2022 NFL Draft. For Dane Brugler, I'm Nathan Zegura, thanking you for joining us for another edition of Draft on Tap presented by Bud Light.